Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to be joined by Marissa Candy. She is the founder and CEO of the Marketing Factory. They've been around for 17 years. So think of all the marketing changes they've seen over the time. And just like Marissa, who doesn't blend in, she also works with clients who don't want to blend in as well. They've won multiple awards, on the verge of being shortlisted for another award as we speak. So it's a pleasure to have a chat with you, Marissa.
Hey, Carmen, always good to see you, and thanks for having me on the show today.
So, Marissa, I know that you are no a newbie to virtual assistants, and you've recently started working with Crystal, who you've secured through our business. Cast your mind back to where your business was when you decided to have a chat with me about getting some support from a virtual assistant.
Yes, let's go back to that point. It was just before Christmas. Like just before Christmas, we're all part of these mentor groups, and they all tell us, the new year starts now. You've really got to get on top of the next year now. And that was probably the start of it. I was looking ahead into the start of the new year. And I was looking at our team, and not just at our team and the work that we had on, but where we wanted to go.
Mm.
And I thought, I don't think we have enough people on to service the business that we actually want to go after in the new year. Not currently, but in the new year. And speaking with you, I know these things take time to get the right person as well. So we were keen to have a chat with you, knowing that also time was of the essence because we really wanted to hit the new year running. And yeah, so we wanted to have a chat to actually start exploring our options and learn a little bit more about the way Global Teams does things, because you're not the first VA agency that we've used. And so really keen to have a chat back then to see and understand a little bit more about what you guys do.
Yeah, I love it. And I love that you were ahead of the game. Some people go, "Oh, I want to start in January." But if you start the chats in January, you're too late. You're going to start with your virtual assistant in Feb. And so, fast forward, you've now been working with Crystal for 83 days, I saw. And so, what sort of things does Crystal do within your business?
Well, she's our special little unicorn, right? We love Crystal. Don't get any ideas, anybody listening, about, has trying to find out how you get hold of her. But Crystal was hired to be our digital coordinator. So she looks after our marketing and across all of our platforms to help respond to some messages or likes and comments across everything to do with the Marketing Factory. But she also, and most importantly, looks after our clients. So she does posting across all of our platforms, be it Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. She's got experience across all of them. And the wonderful thing about Crystal is that, coming to an agency like us, she also has some design ability, so she knows how to work the Adobe Creative Suite, which is very helpful. Interesting fact though, when I came to you back then, Carmen, we wanted a LinkedIn specialist. And even in that very short period of time that we had, going out to market looking for someone to what we
Yeah.
chose, the role and the needs of our business changed in that period of time. How crazy, right? And so what happened, what you guys managed to do for us was, we had people on the table that had skills for both of those roles. And
Mm.
I think that was a really magic that happened, that we were able to shift those candidates over onto this new seat that we'd created of what we needed at that time, which did change in that very short period of time, that 4 to 6 weeks that we were going through the motions and going through that process. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really fascinating, because I know that with business, so much can change. And when I try and scope the roles, I try and future proof them, but there's always some changes and things that you might not foresee.
Absolutely. That's the thing. And, I guess we go that extra mile to, when we look to hire, we think,
Mm.
we like this person, there's kind of this vibe. And Nolene, when maybe we'll talk about the process, but through that
Yeah.
process, so you can, I can sense a vibe between you guys. And I'm like, really? And, so there is all of that. And you do that high vibe. But for us, we do put them through a behavioral assessment just to make sure that couple of things anyway, that they're the right person for that particular role. They have the right qualities we need for that particular role. And secondly, that they're the right person for our business. They're the right team fit. We know who we are, we know who we have, and we know what we're missing. And sometimes it's always, well, for us, it's been wonderful doing that. And it hasn't been something we've done through our 17-year career. I wish we had it, maybe, and maybe we wouldn't have, maybe, had some challenges and some great, wonderful learnings, isn't it, in business?
Oh, whenever something goes wrong, Maureen and I just go, "Oh, this is going to be good for our book when we write it."
Absolutely. Well, we're writing one of those too. But yeah, it is. And it goes into those learnings of what could we have done differently? And what
Because you have hired a virtual assistant before, haven't you? Before Crystal.
Yes, yes, we have. We've got two now. But our very first attempt, should we say? Yes, it was an attempt, and wasn't great. It wasn't great. And please, listeners, viewers out there, know that it wasn't with global teams. And so it was someone else. And we had a really awful experience, let's just say that. And again, being our first experience, you don't know, right? So you don't know that I didn't know it was a bad one. And so it took us another year before I brought up the courage again to a trial it and attempt it. Because what do we do when we fail in business or in life as adults? It's very easy to go or throw that in the that didn't work basket, right? So we got let down, and not all agencies like yourself are the same. That's all I can
Yeah,
say. If
yeah.
you're listening, you're watching, and you're hearing this, and you're feeling something resonating from what I'm saying, they're not all the same. Hope is out there. Carmen's here, and she can help because everything. Carmen was different. I can't
Yeah.
even begin to tell you. We weren't having direct contact with our VA, which made me believe then that she was off doing, and it was a girl, I'm not just being
Mm.
sexist here, but our particular VA, I felt that she was possibly doing multiple clients' work, even though that we were paying for her in a full-time capacity. So we weren't able to have direct contact. We had to go through their ticketing job system. It was very clunky. It was very time consuming. And when you're trying to train someone as well, that's time consuming in itself, right?
Mm. Yeah, well done for giving it another go. I think, so often I speak with business owners who go, "Oh, I've tried it before, but it didn't work. Could you help?" And I always just go to, "Well, what did you learn about yourself?" And so you've got two virtual assistants now within your business. How do they impact your business?
Oh, look, being from another country, you've got to understand the cultural differences. It's probably the
Mhm.
biggest one. They come with such passion, such gratefulness, and so grateful and thankful for their role of what we do. We really are changing people's lives, for them. And that makes me feel really good as a person. And
Yes.
so, they come with that. And so they have definitely impacted us in so many ways, just being great human beings. We've got ours from the Philippines, and the cultural alignment with the Philippines and Australia is this thick.
Mm. Yeah.
And I feel that we're so blessed to have them because they feel so blessed to have us. And
Yeah.
that's number one. The other thing is that they do take a little while, and you've got to be patient with them to learn your business. If they've never worked with an Australian business before, then, or wherever country you're from, they have to understand your business, the cultures of your country. Slang is wow. You know, have you got a whole onboarding platform just for the slang component, because that's interesting to get
Yeah.
over, not just your industry slang, your countries, and we take it all for granted. We're just like, that'll be fine. You know what we're talking about? She'll be right, mate. What does that mean? She'll be right, mate. Anyway, it was all of that. But they've made such a beautiful impact. They fit so well into the team. They have just fully embodied all of our values. And then nothing is too much. Nothing is too much for them. Now, I'm really thinking that I'm making it sound like a beautiful rosy day and a walk in the park. But doesn't these things don't come with challenges? These things don't come with
Mm.
errors, mistakes, learnings, we like to call them, right?
Yes.
And they did. And just to be patient. But for me, I hire on personal character a lot more over skill, because I can't change someone's character, right? I can't change that, but I can teach them something. So being patient is the biggest lesson I've learned in hiring VAs from another country, is being patient with them, letting them and give them the time to watch, giving them the time to see what's happening. We have a really open and a very shareable workplace. A lot of our team, or they all work remotely except for a couple of us together in the office here. So we're on Teams all the time. And part of our
Mm.
onboarding is that you just shadow someone. It might not even have anything to do with what you do as your role, but they just watch someone else's screen to understand what it is that they do, get an appreciation for everyone in the workplace. So they watched our designers at work, they've watched me organizing my chaos, they watch what goes into creating what we create, what's important to us, because you can say so much. You can put a document together with all the details in the world of this is important and go watch this, but it's another thing, I think, to show them. And understanding that about someone, they learn differently, learn by doing, learn by watching, learn by, all of those different ways. So that was a really big part of it, being patient and really letting them now, making sure they knew that we weren't trying to go week one, here's your KPIs, week two, where's those results? We were,
Yeah.
all I want you to do in 2 weeks is just watch and learn.
I'm really curious about this shadowing, because I know that to delegate a task, like you often share your screen and talk out loud, but the idea of shadowing someone within your team that's not directly related to the role. So talk me through how that works.
So what we do is, well, we've graphic designers, obviously, here at the Marketing Factory,
Mm.
marketing strategists like myself. Look, that's not quite visually fun to watch, because you're kind of watching my
Yeah.
brain tick. The cogs are going, but again, it is fun because I do a bit of whiteboarding, we do a bit of planning, so they can be watching that, and I
Yeah.
then and we do open brainstorming, so they're always involved in that. And our other VA, she was, what I loved about her was that she was
Mm.
someone that was sharing straight away. She shared her opinion straight
Mm.
away. And I'm like, yes, we've chosen the right one. Because again, with Filipino culture, they don't often speak out. They don't often speak up. They sit back, right?
Mm.
So having someone have the confidence, the comfortability, I think, to be able to share their opinion and know that they're not going to get whacked down and say, that's a terrible
Mm.
idea, go back into your box. So we shared screens and we talked through it. So if I was doing a
Yeah.
whiteboard here, the camera would be pointed with it behind and we'd be talking. So this is where we're going to go. This was mapping things out, because we're using VAs to scale, right? So we use them from the
Mm.
start. We get them to understand where
Yeah.
this business is going. Where do we want it to go? What does it look like? What's the vision? How are we going to get there? It's great to say we want to turn over $1 million, $10 million, whatever your number might be. But bringing your people on
Mm.
is what we do a lot of. Bringing people on so they know when they wake up on a Monday morning, and it might not be the highest priority to go, gosh, well, got to go to work. We want them to go, I'm going to work because this is the work that I'm doing. So we do a bit of that.
Yes.
For our graphic designers, they shared their screens on what they're working on and how they create the things that we work on, and the volume
Mm.
of work that they're handling, so that they have a
Mm.
appreciation when they're putting in a brief, when they're talking to clients and messaging them, when someone says, hey, can you give me an update on this job, or how's that going,
Mm.
they can say with great confidence and authority that this is currently being worked on, it's in production, and we'll have it to you by this date. So it's that whole
Yeah.
encompassed understanding and learning of what goes into it. We're not just all secretly operating in our little silos. Don't watch what I'm doing, don't tell anyone. It's pretty much
Yeah.
an open sharing space.
Yeah, it's a beautiful way to support your new team member to get context, isn't it?
Mm.
I love that.
Yeah, that's right.
And so, talk to me about communication. How do you guys communicate? Most of you are virtual. How do you get the vibe going on?
We get the vibe. We get the vibe going. We do come in. It's all about the vibe. We start every day together. We start
Okay.
every day together. So again, you got to make your business work for you. You got to make your people work the right way for you. So we're lucky that our teams start at 7 a.m. in the Philippines. So it's 9 a.m. here in Australia, in Brisbane, and 9 a.m. every day we have a meeting. The meeting might be 5 minutes, the meeting might be 30 minutes, doesn't matter. We start our day every day together. And if I can't make it, if someone can't make it, that's okay. Whoever can make it starts their day and they share what they've got on that day and what they need from anyone else that day. And then notes keep going. So we're a big fan of the Teams because we're on Microsoft here, but whatever your comms
Yes.
is, I guess. And then we talk to each other throughout the day
Mm.
on Teams if we need any quick questions. For me, an email is like the post boxes of old. You're trying to shove another letter in that post box and it's just full. That's my email. Don't send
Yeah.
me an email because I've already got enough to sort. So the Teams messages works really well for us. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. I love the idea of the huddle at the start of each day because then you can identify what support you need, you can share priorities and organize if you do need to have a one-on-one with someone. So
Yep.
that's great.
Yep.
And so, I mean, you've been like on a bit of a journey. You've started with a virtual assistant that didn't quite work out. You've now got to an amazing virtual assistant. What have you learned about yourself?
About myself. Carmen, we're going deep here.
Oh, indeed.
Okay, let's get ready. Self-reflection time. Look, I've learned that people aren't mind readers.
Mm. Well, it's a bit of a shame, though, isn't it?
No,
Sometimes I want them to be, Marissa.
look, I've known that for a very long time. This is not a new discovery, okay? So the listeners out there, yeah, look, this ain't something I've woken up with learned the last 6 months. But people can't read your mind. So we always say at our agency that the work is only ever as good as the brief. So then we all look back
Yes.
at our own business and we know we're busy and we got to make sure that we're giving our people the tools, the resources, the capability, and the permission to do what we are asking them to do. So you've got to give all of that. So we've got to go that extra mile. The more you give, the better the result is at the end. And we're seeing it. Helping them,
Yeah.
helping them with information along the way, having a few checkpoints, like you might start here and you want to go to Rome, but you don't just go from here
Mm.
to Rome in a day, even though you probably can with Qantas or Virgin, but, so we have these checkpoints, in order to get to Rome, what's going to help us
Yes.
get there with the best possible outcome? Where do we need to stop off at? We'll check in here, right? So here's the brief. Send me a few ideas on concept on that, and so we can choose the one we love. Not getting them to the
Yeah.
end and saying to the poor buggers, that's rubbish. Not what I was thinking. Start again. And we could have had that, solved back here.
Yeah, I love the idea of checkpoints. I use them quite a lot in the business as
Yeah.
well, just because sometimes someone shows me something and I go, "Oh, I didn't know that I wanted that," or "I never thought to include this in my brief." But it's only once I see that, like, a little bit of work output that I'm like, it triggers things in my own mind.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I know that you're scaling and you help others to scale as well. What do you think the secret to your success of, working with your team and getting them to help you scale is?
Well, interesting. What's our secret to success? We've done this before. We were a team
Mm,
of 12 at the marketing factory, and that damn thing, COVID, came along. But instead of me,
mm,
looking at it as an opportunity, I guess a lot of businesses thrived in that time. We didn't this time, which was interesting on reflection. It's been an interesting
mm,
space in self-reflection space. We're going back deep here, Carmen. Come on with
mm.
me. So we're going back. So, COVID wasn't kind to us because we were a very different business then. We relied a lot on advertising with the five main medias, and we were doing TV, we were doing radio, we were in digital, and we were looking after a lot of digital platforms as well. We had our own media with success, so we were publishing a magazine every 8 weeks. So COVID changed a lot of the landscape in advertising because people couldn't go out, they couldn't go to the shops, right? So our business changed, and gosh, there would have been so many opportunities out there for us, and I just didn't go looking for them.
Mm.
I went into a little box. It might have been having to do with something to do with where I was at personally at that time
Yeah.
in my life. Because we started the business in 2007, which was right around the GFC. Look, there's all these great milestones out there, but you know what happens what happens in all turbulent times? It comes back, you know,
Yeah.
decline, and had I have thought about that, COVID is not going to send us all underground. It's just a matter of time, right?
Yeah.
Everything will be back. So the secret to our success in scaling, we're a very different business than what we were back then. And I guess we've
Mm.
evolved a lot. And I really wanted to scale in a different way. The business model that we had and that we've been operating under for 15 years was a model that
Mm.
got us so far. And we were blessed to be in a regional city, supported by that
Yes.
regional city very well. And I'm
Mm.
really grateful for everything that we achieved, the brands we worked with, the businesses that we've helped. But this time, it's different. We're using a
Mm.
different model. We are looking to scale differently. And I am really excited to be having this model work for us, because we don't just want two VAs, Carmen. We want many more, because we want to have, and we're judging, I guess, our success on our impact. So that's the difference. So,
Mm.
it's not about a turnover, it's not about a number, it's a number of people that we've
Mm.
helped in business. It's our impact will be judged by the number of people that we have helped. And so to do that, we need to go international. To do that, we need to go
Yeah.
Australia wide. To do that, we need help beneath the business in the production. So, and we know, and business owners know, this ain't no secret, but here's the secret. It's really easy for the business owner to sell the business, right? To sell. If you're any good
Mm.
at talking, and look, we're not short of a word, Carmen, you and I guess, it's really easy for us to sell, right? And you
Yes.
bring someone in and you go, just sell like me. And they don't, they can't, they won't. Okay. They just won't. So
Mm.
instead of trying to recruit that, because those people are really tough to get, and if you've got one, hold on to them. Um, so it's like, well, I don't actually mind that role. I actually quite like that
Mm.
role. I don't like all the other stuff. That
Mm.
stuff. So when you write down all the things as the busy business owner that you do during your week, and I just started crossing off all of the stuff that I don't want to do anymore and going and hiring that.
Yeah, I love that. And I completely relate to that. I think sales is the one thing that I'm holding on to, but everything around the sales, like even like I've got heaps of sales calls today, but after each sales call, I just send a quick voice message, and then Jonathan magically does stuff, sets up other meetings, sends resources through. Like it's just magical. So I just have that conversation. So I completely agree. So Marissa, if there's someone thinking out there, listening, going, "Oh, this I've been thinking about getting a virtual assistant, but I haven't," what would you say to them?
Just do it. Give Carmen a call. Don't call anyone. Give Carmen a call. If you're listening to this podcast, of course you're coming to, right? Yeah, don't call some random. Don't go and call three other agencies. You found the right one. Okay, you found the right one, because I've done the testing out there for you. All right, so do it now. Don't delay. It takes time to get good talent. It's not like I'm ready, someone turns up next week. There's a period of time, right? So you've got to be patient with that. Then you've got to be patient with the time that they learn and they on board. Okay, so if you need help and you know you need help, you need to give Carmen a call today.
Yeah. Thanks, Marissa, for that plug. So obviously we can get virtual assistants to do all sorts of things, admin, bookkeeping, marketing. One of my bugbears, Marissa, is when someone just comes and says, I want my virtual assistant just to do my marketing and get me leads. And I just have a little hissy fit and then I tell them that they need someone to own the strategy. Either the business owner does or they go to an agency like yours to get the strategy. I'm tipping you agree with that premise as well.
100%. Yes. Yes. Yeah. To
Yeah.
elaborate, I guess, on that, no one knows your business more intimately than you. And we've got some really shocking
Mm.
statistics here in Australia, like
Okay.
40 to 50% of business owners in Australia do not have a written down strategy or plan. It's
Mm.
all in here. So
Yeah.
let me ask you this. When you're not there, or you don't want to be there in your business, someone's going to be making a decision for you. And if they
Mm.
don't know where you're going, if they don't know what you would say, if you don't have it written down, then guess what? Someone else is actually choosing the course of your business. Someone's responding on your
Mm.
behalf. So if you don't have one, you have one, but it's someone else owns it. Someone else is executing
Yeah.
it. Your team are executing it for you. So 100% agree with you. VAs, again, are really good at following instruction, right? But instruction's
Mm.
one thing and strategy's another. Why are you doing
Yeah.
it? So it's great. I'd love to know from all of your clients, Carmen, you know, like,
Mm.
you've got your VA on board and you want them to help you manage, grow, potentially scale your business.
Mm.
What does the strategy look like? How are you going to get there? Who's your customer avatars that they need to
Mm.
appeal to? Are you changing your message, your tone to appeal to each of those? Because no one business has just one avatar. You've got multiple. And if you've got
Yeah.
multiple different products or multiple different services, which one is the most important one they should be talking about more? Which one produces the most gross profit for the business? Which
Mm.
one should we be talking about this week that's going to have an emotional trigger, a calendar date trigger, a period of time trigger that they should be leaning on in your industry or in the
Mm.
calendar month that's going to get you more inquiries? Because marketing is here to make the phone ring. Marketing doesn't make the sale. That's your job or someone
Yeah.
else you bring in, right? So I think we forget that. And it's just like, we're going to put someone in the role. They're just going to look after the marketing. And yeah, we're posting content. Marketing is not just about posting content. It's posting the right content to the right people. And I guess that's where we come in we think about that. We can write a strategy for your VA to follow. We can write a plan for your business. We want to knock these statistics about Australia not having a written down strategy or plan. And we all know that an alarming percentage of businesses fail in the first year. And this is even more scary, is that 50% of businesses in Australia aren't even profitable.
Full on.
So
Yeah.
73, look, I'm full of stats here. Don't fact check me because I'm rounding figures up, down, either way. But, if you want to know more, go on to the ABS. But, because it'll probably change depending on when you're listening or viewing this. But
But either way, terrific.
yes, that is horrific. And this one of 73, I want to say, percent of business owners are paying their staff more than they're paying themselves. So look, if
Mm.
you ever said, oh, I'm going to start a business, great, you're going to end up not producing a profit, paying your people more than what you pay yourself, sign me up for that. Who's doing that? No one. So I
Mm.
can't help but think these numbers are linked and that we're here to do something about it. And that's why we're on this renewed mission. We're here to help business owners turn those sides. These are the worst rates in 2012 in our country, and we need to turn it around. And hopefully,
Wow.
we can
Yeah.
start making a small, but now bigger attempt at that.
So if someone's been listening to you and getting a bit of a fire in their belly about getting themselves a marketing plan, how can people contact
Oh,
you?
look, we're on all the socials, Carmen. Follow us on all the socials. You will see us there. You can send us a DM on any social, be it Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, and make sure that, that we do on a cross promote of our own podcast here. Like and subscribe on another great podcast. But yeah, so that we manage. But yeah, reach out on the socials. We'll make sure that we get back to you. Check out our website. If you've been triggered by something that we've talked about today, book straight in, book your free 15-minute strategy call from our website, themarketingfactory.com.au, and I'd love to talk to you.
Beautiful. And I'll pop Marissa's website down below so you can contact her as well. So Marissa, you've been amazing. I love your energy. I love that you're growing. I love that you're, introspective and working out, what's worked and what hasn't so that you can, be even bolder going forward. Do you have any final words today?
Final words. I just thank you guys for everything that you've done for us in supporting our journey. You've always been there. I guess having the confidence, knowing that you were going to be there to help us, Carmen, was been really assuring in that, this was what we initially set out to do, was going to be a new role our business had never really had before, like to manage remotely. But you were like, yeah, we'll help you with that. We'll get you there. That was really a great support in knowing that, because let's be honest, business being in business sometimes gets really lonely, and I don't have a
Yeah.
business partner like you and Maureen, and your a
Mm.
relationship. And
Yeah.
so who are you bouncing these ideas off? Who are you bouncing things off? And I'm lucky that I do have a business coach who's wonderful and some great mentors, but to know that you were there, and not only to just say these words, right? Because, everyone says, oh yeah, we'll be there for you. And then as soon as you sign on the dotted line, there's no bugger answering the phone, it's crickets, and you're like, hello? Or is it,
Yeah.
so, it was nice that you were there to talk to you. Your team were really great, who we've talked to through the whole process. They contact me more than I probably ever contact them. That in the nicest possible way, because we don't have anything to comment on, just we're fine, Nolene, we're fine. So I guess the support that's there is very unusual based on our past experiences as well. The actual physical phone call, guys, I know it's amazing. A physical person
I know, old school, hey?
picks up the phone, or sends the team invite. I'm talking to a real person. That is old school. Yes. So that's really comforting as well, knowing that there is somebody to talk to, and it's not, once the sale's done, you wash your hands of us and when do you want the next one. So that's, I just want to say thank you. And we
Yeah.
ain't stopping here. And so any way that we can help you or your
Yeah.
clients or listeners, we'd love to be there for them.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Marissa. You've been a pleasure to speak to as always. Yeah, and I look forward to hearing about all the amazing growth that happens and all the people that you support.
Thanks, Carmen.